All right. Oh, how are we all doing? Are we enjoying living in new FAQ land? I'm definitely enjoying living in new FAQ land, although it's been a busy few days. On top of all of the general bits and pieces I've been doing, the coaching sessions I've done, and the videos and the live streaming, yada yada, I realized that I literally have from now less than 7 days to get a Warhammer army built and painted. And that, like, I knew that. Objectively, I knew that. But, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting experience to get everything done in time. I also forgot that I'd booked a practice game in person tomorrow. So that's also going to be interesting because, hold on. I wonder if I can pick this up without it all going everywhere. I don't think I can. Let me see if I can get this in front of. Okay, so this is a like just a box of bases. I decided I was going to be a fancy boy. I've mentioned this before. I'm going to do the bases separately. I've got some elves on sticks that I'm painting, and yeah, I've got like nothing ready to play tomorrow, which will be interesting to see. So after this stream, I think I'm making sure the bases are done, and then painting the shoes of all of the models or the hooves, and then sticking them to the already done bases, and hoping that when I paint, I can be neat enough to not accidentally get any paint on the bases. So this is going to be an interesting one. All right, good to see you all. Broma Sapien, good to have you. Oak Boy Phil as well. Amy doesn't make me pull my hair out. Rumors of how nuts she drives me are greatly exaggerated, apparently. Good to see you, Matthew. Big Ives, evening. He says you can't paint an army in 7 months. 7 days is light work. Or it would be if the FAQ hadn't dropped and also I had loads of sessions. Like, hold on, let me open up. I don't really want to put it on stream. But Tuesday, I think next week is going to be a pretty busy day. So I only start working at 10:30, so that's nice on Tuesday. And then there are some small gaps in between, but I'm working from 10:30 to 7, and that's fine. But then I'm streaming from 8 till 10. So it's going to be a long one, and I don't think I'm going to get much painting done on that day, funnily enough. I've got some gaps in there where I'll be able to eat food at least. After the stream, panic attack and back to modelling. No. Can't be doing with panic attacks. You just gotta get on with it, you know? You just gotta deal with it. Even in two hands. Painting stream time. I did order... So I was thinking about doing something like that on Friday instead of doing... Like last Friday, instead of doing a Fix My List. And then I just decided to have a break because I knew it was going to be busy and I was going to be working most hours of the day. Make hay while the FAQ shines and all that good stuff. Evening, Mark. Got a comp tomorrow. Wish you luck. Good luck, Big Ives. Phil says, watch your video with Morgan Glory yesterday. Any chance we could get you and Amy to stream one of your games? They sound hilarious. We mostly do, like, just list discussion, honestly. What else now? Busted with extra points? No. Like, I don't even think the points cuts make a difference. They obviously, like, objectively make a difference, but they needed more than just, like, a point off and then 2 points off. It's nice. It's nice to have. But, yeah, it doesn't change the fundamental issues with them. In fact, let me pull up before we do anything, because I'm still tweaking the list, but we can have a quick look at it. Let's pull up my list. Oh, I renamed everything. I think this is the one. Let me just download the JSON file here. And then if I import a new list, boom. All right. At least they got a cut looks at high elves. Yep. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more help for the lower tiers of society. We have a bunch of wood elf lists with these huge sweeping buffs. I think there's a Wild Hunt list. There's a Battle March Redux list. There's two. So what I'm thinking is I wanted more shooting in the list, honestly, but I haven't been able to fit as much shooting in the list as I possibly could. So I've got a unit of 14 Glade Guard, because this is my home field objective holder. They've got Arcane Bodkins, Unit Champion, Musician. I've given them Fire and Flee as well. I'm not opposed to dropping the Fire and Flee, but I feel like, I don't know. Like, I know I've said on this stream a lot that I don't rate Fire and Flee. If it keeps them alive and they get to do some damage, the main use in my mind for Fire and Flee is that you know that you can only run up to 6 inches. So if you need to run away, you can just run away. And if you need to run away but not that far, and you don't want to run off the board, Fire and Flee is pretty nice in that regard. And yeah, I wanna try it out. We'll see. But Arcane Bodkins, because they plan on staying still, 7x2, you get, 11 shots because of volley fire, or if there's a hill. Yeah. This feels like a pretty okay unit for 194 points, but that is pricey, and they are made out of tissue paper. I've got 2 units of 6 Deepwood Scouts. I thought about combining them into 1 unit of 12, and then I thought, why don't I just do them as separate, not care about them scoring, because I've got 3 other core units that can score, and that way I can just sort of chuck them in, have them as harassing units. They're not as fast as the Glade Riders, who are very hard to pick up because they've got reserve move, and they can, move 9 inches a turn. But they've got evasive, and I can play them around the edges of terrain, and because it's a small unit, it makes it easier for me to get out of charge arcs of stuff like dragons that can catch them. So I think there's some interesting play there. I've given them unit champions and musicians. I think I can drop the unit champions, honestly. So I've got like 12 points to play with, theoretically. In terms of the Glade Riders, 2 units of Glade Riders. The one which is unit champion musician with true flight arrows, so they've got the quick shot and ignores cover. I really like ignores cover. For a skirmish unit, it means you don't have to be anywhere near as precise with your movement, because the biggest penalty to a list like this is an honest player who caps themselves and be like, oh, well, this model can only see 80% of your unit. Guess I've given you cover. So anything that wants to move in skirmish, I really like true flight arrows there. That's joined by the level 2 Spellsinger, which is battle magic, and I'm just praying. I'm praying to roll something good. But there's Resplendent Luminescence to give them magical attacks. Ascendi's Bane, which is I actually quite like as a magic item. It's a 10-point bow that gives you a reroll to hit, and if you fail, you take a strength 3 hit. You probably just never use the reroll. It's just that this model doesn't come with a bow. So for 10 points, my Spellsinger has another ballistic skill 4 shot. It's got quick shot built in, so I'm not taking movement penalties as long as I don't have to worry about cover. I'm fine there. Ruby Ring of Ruin as well, I think, is important to put in the list. Just, we're trying to squeeze out as much range pressure as possible on a horse. The other unit, these Glade Riders, full command, Banner of Springtide. This one gives you quick shot, and with the quick shot, I like a unit with Arcane Bodkins, obviously reserve move as well. So I've got some armor-piercing shooting. It's not that many shots, it's only 8 shots, but you've got quick shot on there, so there's no penalty for moving and shooting. You're probably going to be hitting on 4s a lot of the time. That's not too bad. It feels pretty okay. I think, I'm tempted to put magic resist on here, but also theoretically they should be out of harm's way, so they shouldn't be getting magic missiled. And then I've got 2 units of Beast Pack. Deeper Towns need some screening or early drops. This is a high drop list. I don't love that for Wood Elves, but it's not the end of the world, I guess. And I've got a unit of Wild Riders, because I think this style of list with all of the shooting really struggles to deal with undead, so we need something that's got some real beef. Wild Riders have 1 attack base, +1 for Furious Charge, +1 for Frenzy, so you're getting some real juice with them, that's for sure. They will do some real damage.
Ed, I'm looking to get some great swords on the table. Any recommendations for unit size/character support?
Thank you, Landon. So the genuine advice I'd give you is play Renegade Crowns and use them as the core greatswords, because you can be in full plate and have a shield. You can demonology them up the board really easily. If you have to run them in Empire, you need them to be big enough to take a little bit of a punch. But I would say you don't want to go too many, and you need to give them Steed of Shadows, in my mind. Like, it's an infantry unit. If you want it to do something, it can't stand on an objective and score. So you've got to get it to where it needs to be. So you probably need it with a Demonology caster. Ideally, you also need it with, like, another caster as well to give it, like, a ward save, so it doesn't just immediately fall over when you get charged, because you've got to park it in front of something. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm very out on greatswords. With the core version in Renegade Crowns, the veteran, not state troops, whatever. It's been a little while since I've looked at Renegade Crowns. But that unit in core, I don't care about taking 30 of them or 25 of them because it's core points, so it's useful. And them being big is useful for other reasons other than just not dying. Oh yeah, I should probably do a little bit of being a smart boy. If you're here and you haven't already, please do give the stream a thumbs up. It helps me get picked up by the algorithm. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. If you want to become a member, you can do down below various tiers. If you are of Longbeard tier or above, you get access to the VIP section on Discord, where there's various bickering or calling me washed. It's where all my #1 haters are. So if you're looking for inspiration, that's where you should go. And obviously I do coaching as well. If you're interested in coaching, today and tomorrow are the last days that you can get a 25% discount for your first month. So had some good uptake on that, which is nice. And it's one of those where it's like, it's great because then financials make a lot more sense. But also you look at the work you've got to do, like next week, for example, you go, man, I gotta do a lot of hours. And that is the joy that sometimes, I'll be honest, some weeks I don't have to do very much work at all, which is pretty damn nice. And sometimes you work like a dog. And this has been one of those weeks, and next week's going to be one of those weeks. And that's just the life you live. I appreciate you, London. Appreciate you. Where was I? Yeah, I was going back to the list. So, who was asking? Winter Warlock, what spells do you take with Heartwood Pendant and Law Familiar? Yes, I was getting there. Good, thank you for pulling me back in. So, I need something that can deal with Death Stars. And this core, I like this core. This core is not it. This does not deal with Death Stars. It does not deal with Undead particularly at all. So, I've got the Spellsinger, which gives me magical True Flight arrows, which means that I've got some answer for Ethereal. I can also put it in with the Glade Riders, or I guess I could put it in with the Glade Guard, which would be weird. But if I need to deal with, like, the Green Knight, for example, I've got some level of ability to do so, especially since I'm bringing in additional wood. So that's nice. And that's where the Spellsinger goes, usually with this unit of Glade Riders, but it can go with both. The Spellweaver is in there because I need the oomph to kill Graveguard. And I've got the Wild Riders. The Wild Riders, with the 3 attacks each, is very nice, but it's not enough. They don't have, Battle Lust. They don't have Frenzy. There's no way to really give it to them. So I need extra juice. And the extra juice that I've gone for is Heartwood Pendant, Law Familiar Power Scroll. So I can pick my spells and I can get one of them off pretty consistently. And that's how I can Dirthu's Wrath into Graveguard specifically. Each model in the fighting rank takes D3, strength 4 hits if they fail an initiative test, no armor save permitted, but they still get ward and regen saves. So this model on its own, assuming that Graveguard are 7 wide, because they've got great weapons. So the way that great weapons work is that it's worded as, if you use your great weapon in combat, you have initiative 1. It's not that you strike at initiative 1, it's that your initiative becomes 1. I think there might be initiative 1 anyway, or it might be initiative 2, whatever. But basically, they're failing 83% of those initiative tests, which is a lot of them. So let's conservatively say that you fail 11 of the 14. And this also, means that you get unit champions can be sniped out. It's done at initiative steps, so it's not like you can snipe them out before challenges. And it also goes into the BSP. But let's just say there's 10 into the unit, just for to make things nice and round. D3 strength 4 hits is not too shabby, especially since it's ignoring armor. So you're averaging 1 wound per model. It doesn't overspill, but the overspill doesn't matter as much if they decide to take regen tests on it. So if you think about it in terms of pure combat res, it's at 10 combat res, assuming that they take regens on all of them. And then you might kill, realistically, like 5 or maybe 6 undead with it. If you get that spell off, that's going to really help crack the unit, because you put it with the Wild Riders and do as much oomph as you can there. But you don't always want to go that route, so just the other stuff in the lore is good. So if you go, oh, there's nothing with low initiative, or I don't really want to throw this into combat in this game, you've got a good magic missile, D3 plus 1, strength 6 hits, AP 2, multiple wounds 2. You've got the regen, which this is just good no matter what version of the list you're playing. So, for example, if you want the Sisters of the Thorn to be really tanky with their 4-up ward save, 4-up ward save and a 5-up regen is kind of dirty, even on T3. This Magical Vortex is okay. I really like Vortex spells that just cause issues for people charging you. So this is quite nice if you can put it in front of your opponent and they have to move through it. Obviously, the Assailment spell's great. This is fine, but it's not super useful. It's mostly there to be like, oh, my infantry need to get out of dodge. It gives them a little bit of ability to do so. And then this is, in my opinion, a bad hex, but I mean, sometimes you're going to have nothing else better to take. Adam, can anyone send the list how to get mine wasted? I'm assuming you mean fixed. But there is a Discord. Join the Discord. The link is in the description. The way that it works is on a Friday morning, I will open up the call for the lists, and then I will look at, I used to do 15, I've gone down to 12 so that I can spend a reasonable amount of time on each one and not feel like I want to rush through the last ones, because the last sort of 4 lists typically get kind of sped through, and I think I'd rather just look at a few less but take more time to do it when there is stuff to actually look at. So yeah, next Friday for the next stream. Oh, I guess there won't be one next Friday because I'll be traveling to the Saffron Slam. Unfortunate. But the Friday after that, I will be back to doing it. I have been thinking about changing the days that I stream up a little bit, but the problem is it's hard to do so because Mondays are locked in because that's the one non-Warhammer thing that I do, and I really don't want to lose that. I have to work some Mondays because I don't want to close off the booking link too frequently, but I want to protect my Mondays. Tuesdays I stream already. Wednesdays, Thursdays, I put a video out on Thursdays and then stream on Fridays. I don't want to stream on the weekend because that wouldn't help. So if I move the stream to Thursdays, when do I put out a video? That's the difficult bit. So yeah, I haven't really come up with a choice there. Friday morning, 10 a.m. is near enough brunch. 10 a.m. is in the morning. Don't need to question me. How dare you? How dare you? Does my list count? No. This is additional. No. So the whole point is I want to be able to travel to events without dropping streams, basically, is the thinking there. Just stop sleeping. I've been doing not enough of that as it stands. Anyway, just to wrap this list up, I also wanted a melee threat that can't be frenzy baited, because I respect the output of Wild Riders, but a lot of lists are just going to be able to bait them, even with 2 units of Beast Pack to frenzy screen them. A lot of the time people are just going to be able to like, oh, I put 2 magic missiles into here, or like 2 units of peasant archers, like, guess we'll just shoot you then. Okay, cool. So the Wild Riders cannot be the main or only source of my melee damage. So I've got a unit, Sister of the Thorn. Both of these have magic resist 1. I've given them Totem of Wrath, and they get joined by the Glade Lord, who has got Cackling Blade, Aspect to the Bear to get up to base strength 5. So combined with Totem of Wrath, I'm going to be hitting most of the time on 2s and 3s. I'm going to be getting additional d6 attacks from the Charmed Blade. The Cackling Blade. I'm going to be strength 6, AP 2, and I'm going to do a good amount of damage there. That's the thinking. And I can run solo, but I'm only AP 1 if I run solo, so it's not something that I'm looking to do all of the time. Hassaflavor says, go to the event the day before and stream on location on Fridays. I really don't want to do that. That sounds like an absolute fucking nightmare. When I'm going to an event, I just want to be able to lock in and do my thing there. See you next Saturday. Hey, you're going to be playing Slayers? Very nice. That'll be fun. That will be fun. If you get paired into me, you'll be playing me on stream. Okay, so yeah, this is the list, and it's it kind of like it's a bit of a toolbox list. It kind of does all of the things I want it to do, but I look at it, I'm like, man, there's just not as much oomph as I'd like there to be. Where's the double dragon? Where's all of the other things that I want? I feel like you've got to spend a lot of points in characters to make this work, and by doing that, I don't get the dragons. Yeah. You streaming the games? Yes, as long as nothing goes wrong, I will be playing but also streaming my games. So that should be fun next weekend. Okie dokie. So let's close out of there and let's have a look at some lists here. All right, well, Mathia has most recently commented in chat, so let's go with your list. Let me scroll up to the context you put in on Discord here. So, with the new FAQ around, you wanted to get this polished. You also wanted it more tool to deal with both forms of undead. You know, it'll never be a strong contender to it, but I find it an interesting / fun to tool for that matchup. What should we change? So the BSB goes into the veteran sellswords with halberds. Prince goes into the... Oh, okay, so BSB and level 3 goes into the veteran sellswords. Prince was level 1 goes into the veteran sellswords with great swords. I would maybe do that the other way around. I don't know that we need 2 melee bricks, actually. Demonology Blaster joins the Outriders. Mounted Captain joins the veteran Free Blades. Doomseeker is Bombard Protection. Doomseeker is Knights. Okay, so we might have spent too many points on characters already. So... I need to remind myself. I always forget what the dwarf items do. +1 toughness, so it's T5, or is it? It starts at T5, right? So it's T6. No, it's T. It starts at T4, so it's T5. The only dwarf, the only proper dwarf with a higher strength than toughness. Okay, so we've got 2 units of sellswords. I don't think I would go 2 units here in terms of going for 2 combat bricks. Like, I would make one of them this is my demonology brick with, like, you know, probably the great swords. Let's just make them a good combat unit and go from there. And then you make the other unit, in my opinion, the defensive unit where you give it loads of static combat res, but you don't need to demonology it. That would be how I would do things. Okay, so... characters. I forgot how complex it is to look at one of these on stream. So we've got Renegade Knight here. So this is... Wait, why is it Renegade Knight? It gets weapon skill, it gets the Brett items, and you've given it Cackling Blade, Talisman of Protection, Gauntlet of the Jewel. You probably don't want it in... I don't know that you want it in combat, in challenges, but you get to weapon skill 7, you get to strength 5. Renegade Knight gives strength as well, yeah. So strength 5, so it becomes strength 6. You're still AP 1. Is there a good way to increase that AP? Not massively, but I feel like you don't have much better as a... Yeah, I don't feel like this is a list that you can put Totem of Wrath into. It basically needs to be a mounted unit for Totem of Wrath. Okay, so we've got a melee character here that I don't hate. Gauntlet of the Jewel doesn't make you accept challenges, does it? It just means that you can't be refused. Yeah, that's fine. Like, for 5 points, I don't see a downside to it. Although, no, you've got a ward save already. I feel like if you're going pistol, you go bracer pistols. You know, like, if you're paying for them, you're getting the extra point, like, shots in. So then we've got the Renegade Captain, which is BSB, Griffin Standard. Yeah, great. So this is good. Noble Outlaw, Repeater Pistol, Full Plate, Morningstar, Ward, say, Witness's Ward for the Magic Resist, Ring of Tal, Charm Shield. Okay, so this is a good loadout there. Thank you very much, Beowulf Miniatures. Muchos apreciado. If you are here and you've been gifted a membership, please do say thank you to Beowulf. And also post in the need role section on Discord, and I will apply your role for this month so you can peek into the VIP section there. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got the Griffin Standard, then we've got, this is the Demonology Wizard, Lord Familiar Power Scroll. Great. Might Meraki, I don't know. Cool. It does have to be that way around. What do I do with my 24 points? Well, yep. Coyote, I don't blame you for this, but you are, I think, the fourth person today who said some variation of that to me. We do know, unfortunately, that it's not as much of a buff as we would have liked. So then we've gone Noble Outlaw. Ooh, Noble Outlaw on Steed. Okay. So this character wants to go in the lance, right? Doesn't it have to be... Oh, I guess you only need one of them to get the lance. I feel like if you're doing this, you give... Oh, man. Okay, so the veteran free blades, they have to be on barded war horses, and I think you want to give them noble disdain as well, which does make them more expensive. But if you're bringing them, you should bring them in an effective manner. Then this character here, which is the mounted character, Lance, twice Blessada, yeah, okay, yep, cool. Have we got a shield on there? We should really give them a shield. Yeah, so that gets them to a 2-up save as well. They only have 2 attacks, right? God, this model's so sad. It makes me so sad. Let's hold the line. Yeah. Yeah, okay, the items make sense. Cool. I don't love this as but like as a lance, it's a short, like a small piece of like it doesn't take up much frontage, and you can get extra attacks, and you can try and snipe out characters with only how many you got in a. So if you're 6 models, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 on the unit champion, 2 there. So you've got 7 attacks plus the 5 horses. You might be able, you can kill like level 2 wizards pretty consistency. You can maybe kill level 3 wizards as well. Support unit, not a fighting unit. Yeah, it's a lot of points for a support unit. Because we're talking what, 118 plus 183. I know I made them more expensive, but like it's still around 300 points or so. Okay, like it's not the end of the world to put them in. Like it's fine. I'm not sold on them personally. Then we've got double level 1, I think. Illusion, Miragliano, and Demonology, Wizard Staff. Yeah, cool. So this is the horse. Okay. Cool. Cool. We've got a lot of characters here. Do we need... So we've got a killing character on foot that is joined by... What did you say? So the prince goes with the level 1, and they will go into... Okay, so I think the way that this works is you go Renegade Prince plus the level 3. So these 2 go into the Great Swords, and this is your combat unit. And that buffs really nicely, because it gives you the +1 strength AP and attacks, so it gets you to strength 7 AP 2. That's pretty good. The extra attack is really nice on the base sword. So this works as a nice little combo. Then we've got the captain, who is paired with the illusion wizard. So that gives them Mighty Miraglion as well. Okay, so both of those make sense. Great stuff. That is your combat res brick. Then we've got the captain who goes with the lance, and the outlaw wizard that goes with the outriders. Cool. Both of those make sense. Amazing. I would find the points for the brace of pistols here. And I'd also find the points for a musician. Musicians, because you're probably going to be running away. I know you've got feigned flight, but sometimes you flee to terror, or just flee to panic, or whatever. So if your game plan is try not to get caught, that's nice to have as a general point there. Do you want to take a Vanguard as well? No, I guess not, because you want to put the wizard in. Okay. So this unit here, I don't think I'd bother paying for the halberds, frankly. I just go heavy armor, shields, and just stand in front of them and be a brick wall. That would be my goal for them. And then this unit here is the killer unit, and I do like having them with Monster Hunter's Tapestry and full command. Outriders are good. These crossbows, heavy armor shields, great. We need some points. Honestly, I think, like, these archers are fine. I think we just drop them. I think that's where we find the points for the tweaks that we've put in. And I don't love Doomseekers, but they do a job. I don't think they're bad. I personally don't value them particularly highly, especially if they're mercenaries. But I think that works. I still feel like we've got one too many characters, but it is 2,400 points, so we've probably got a little bit more room in there to go. We've got 14 points then. What do we want to put in? Oh, always musicians, always musicians. Have we got musician here? Yes, yes. Guess we don't need a musician. Like, I'd like a musician here. Because again, you know, you've got the static combat res. If you'll have a rank, you'll have a banner, you'll have infantry outnumber, you'll beat the dragon in combat you'll have 3 static combat res. They will have hopefully no higher than 3. The musician means that you win if they charge you. Yeah. You've considered dropping a wizard, but not sure which one. I feel like the wizards are... Like, this illusion caster is the least valuable one, realistically. But then you need to find a way to put Might of Miragliano in the unit as well. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that works. And we haven't actually had to change all that much around, realistically. Mostly just, like, where the characters go was the main thing. So we can say list number 1 has been fixed, and we're 30 minutes in. Now, 25 or 20 minutes of that was me yapping, so yeah. All right, well, since you're definitely here, let's have a look at your list, Beowulf. I'm pretty sure you put one in, right? Or am I talking out my backside? I might be talking out my backside. All right, I guess you didn't put one in. Never mind. Cool. Let's go then to who else have I seen in chat? Mark N. I see you, Mark N. You got some high elves. Ah, yeah, I did see this one. So the notes on Mark's list say, mind you, it's not a legal list because of the Warhawk Riders, but it's just for a fun game between friends. So that works out. No, thank you, Beowulf. So if we look at your high elves here, so this is under the context of a fun game between friends. Yes, I did see this one. Okay, so you said it's not legal. I'm assuming you've got it as open war, so I assume you're not using the Grand Melee and Combined Arms. Otherwise, you'd be one too many on the Lothan Skycutters there. So, I would say, first tweak, personally, I think the Warhawk Riders, give them either True Flight Arrows or Swift Shiver Shards. True Flight Arrows because they're never going to stop moving. So you always, like, just being able to actually hit with Ignores, Cover, and Quick Shot is quite nice. 3 shots is realistically not going to do any actual damage, so just chipping away at, like, enemy skirmishes or something is probably where they want to be, because then they're looking to charge that sort of unit. But otherwise, I think that's fine. The Lothan Skycutters here, you could probably drop the bolt throwers, but if you're going for, like, mobile shooting, I don't hate it. I do like the bolt throwers in terms of just having a little bit of ranged oomph in there. You'll be playing Ride of the Valkyrie from Wagner. Nice. Very nice. This I would tweak. So, Potion of Foolhardiness. Unfortunately, potions fall off until the end of the turn. So, it doesn't protect you from terror causes, because, like, it would theoretically protect you if you charge them, but this unit should never be charging a terror causer. It should be just standing there and shooting. So we can drop the Potion of Foolhardiness here, given that it falls off before it gets any of the effect, unfortunately. I'm also a Razor Standard hater. If you look at the numbers on how much damage this does, you know, you've got 35 models. You're going to be volley firing, right? So let's say you're... What does 35 do? Let's say you're 9 wide, because you want to get as many shots in as possible, and you go 9, 18, 27, 36, so we're dropping 1. So you go... 9, 5, 5, 4, so that's 14, 23 shots. You're going to be hitting, let's be conservative and say, or let's be generous even, and let's say you're hitting half the time. You've only got -1 to hit for whatever reason. So you've got 12 hits, Razor Standard gives you AP on 2 of those shots, which is not good at all. Instead, I'd just give them something to help them survive. So, honestly, it's probably just Monster Hunter's Tapestry or War Banner for a little bit more static combat res. They're just for harassing the mages going in the unit. Cool. Yeah. So this feels solid. Just look at what lore to take. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so we are points missing. Normally you wouldn't be able to do this, but again, because this is not like a tournament list, we don't have to be under 500 points for the unit. So you probably just want to go something like 37 of them, something like that, and then we'll tweak the points to fit. Just looking at what lore to take. So lore, I think a level 2 wizard. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you can do it, I would say don't bother with the mage, and instead go with a Shire Vess. So a Shire Vess gives them AP1 on all of their attacks, which is just great, frankly. So Precision Strike gives all Loth and Seaguard armor piercing 1, or increases the AP of their attacks by 1. So this is not just their bows, it's also their hand weapons. It's roughly the same points. It is more expensive, but we'll cut some points somewhere. And this gives you just a lot more than a level 2 wizard does. So I would go with that, if you can. Then we're going to have to find a way to cut some points here. I don't really want to cut from the characters too much. Got a prince with full plate shield, Seed of Rebirth, Star Lance, Ring of Fury. Okay. So you haven't got a ward save on this character. What have we got on the other two? Seed of Rebirth, Pure of Heart, Seed of Rebirth, Pure of Heart. Just keeping it cheap. Cool. So I find that the Prince doesn't actually have enough output to really make me want to run an expensive magic item. 45 points is, it gets you to strength 7 AP4, but you've only got 4 attacks, which is kind of whatever. Instead, I'd just go, okay, this is my, this is my lord. Let's try and keep him alive. So give him Talisman Protection, get him that triple save, and probably just go Great Weapon as well. And the extra output you've got from the Ring of Fury anyway. Which, frankly, we could just give the other 2 nobles Ring of Fury as well. You've got the points for it. So let's drop their shields. I'm going to delete one because we're just going to duplicate it. If we drop the shield here and upgrade for 3 points to a Charmed Shield to get you that once up, 5 up ward, and then also give them Ring of Fury as well, I feel like we've achieved what you're looking for just a little bit better with those nobles. We are overcapped on points. That's a problem. That is a problem. Is this a flying circus? It is a flying circus. Hey, Ghost Guitars. What is up? The sky. And also roofs. But not points on Cathay. This is a problem. 37 points too many. Maybe we just have to go back to your level 2 wizard if we want to really make the Griffins do their thing the best that they can. Not an Archmage. It's a level 2 wizard. Just a regular level 2. If you're going level 2, I guess Battle Magic is not a bad lore to roll in. Because you'd also given them the Silvery 1 for a 3rd spell, right? Yeah, 3 spells in Battle Magic is probably more likely to be useful than 3 spells in any other lore, especially because the casting value is quite low. And we're still points over. I think what I do is, I'm sorry to remove a bird, but just take out the Great Eagle, and then go, let's just put 1 more Loth and Seaguard in, and then suddenly I think the list just works. I think that does it. So these are be the changes. I'd love to get a Shire Vess there instead of a mage, but I think just making these more effective is going to do more for you, realistically. Oops, that's not how you find people. Mark N. Shark emoji. There we go. You are welcome, Mark. Hope you have a good game. Hope you have a good game. I wonder why... So the message showed up on stream, but it didn't show up in chat. Truly bizarre. Maybe YouTube filtered the word balloon. YouTube is also traumatized by Cathay, so it didn't want to have to talk about it. Perhaps. All right, tell you what, let's go Orc Boy Phil's list, because I've seen Orc Boy Phil in chat recently as well. Chat YouTube move, yeah, absolutely. Just filtering out my viewers. Doesn't want them there. So, the context of this, part of a slow grower league. This is my idea for the first 750 points. Not really happy with my lack of melee, but I don't have any warriors and you need a king for Longbeards. Yeah, I checked that when you said that. I was like, no, surely it's like whatever the king/thane equivalent is called. But no, you absolutely do. I like this as a list. I don't think there's all that much that I would tweak. I don't think you can go 2 units of Iron Drakes, though, right, for Battle March? I think... Can you only have a single of the same type of unit for rare? I feel like that is something that you're capped on. So you can only go up to 25% of your list. So I think you could just go 1 big unit of Iron Drakes, honestly. Like, it'd be better to have 2 smaller ones, but I think at 750 points you cap to a single unit in rare. If I'm wrong, just leave it the same as it was. I don't think I'm wrong. Rangers, fully kitted out Rangers. I do like that. And then the Thunderers with shields. Yeah, I like that as well. Great stuff. A copter with the classic gun. I'd probably just keep it with the steam gun. The problem with the gyrocopter is... the Eurocopter. Need to make sure I'm getting that correct. Eurocopter. Ballistic skill 3. Ballistic skill 3 is just not good. But it's very tanky, and it does impact hits, and it ties things up frustratingly well. And the steam gun kind of works okay into skirmishes. So I think I'd leave it as just a baseline copter there. Hello, says Zerula. When are we getting the Donacopter? One of my favorite recurring comedy bits that I do in real life, because streamers are not, you don't become a streamer. You're already a fundamentally flawed person when you start. You're like, it's a certain type of person that wants to do this type of job, and you have to be committed to the bit in your life before you be committed to the bit in terms of doing it in front of camera. Anyway, I like talking about this. I'm like, I'm gonna go to, there's a Greek place just around the corner. I'm going to pick up lunch from there or whatever. And I'm talking about Tescos, the Greek plate Tescos. It's Tesco's. Nobody ever gets it, which is, I think, why it's funny to me. It's funny because it's not funny in a very Norm Macdonald kind of way. You don't just suddenly crave an audience. No, I've always been like this. I've always been like this. Does it drop sandwich bonds? Slice them off. Yeah, alright, so you've got... Oh, God, this is so brutal. Hold on, what was the context? Slow Grower League. It doesn't say it's like a narrative-friendly league. Okay, this is rude, frankly. This model is going to just table your opponents on its own. This is going to be absolutely wild. Yeah. So you've got a few points left. 11 points, in fact. Oh, hey. That gets you an 11th Thunderer. So literally all I've done is combined the Iron Drakes and changed the Eurocopter's gun for a steam gun, because I think that's going to be more effective. And honestly, you just want it in melee a lot of the time. And then the Thane and the 1 extra Thunderer. Yeah, good stuff. You think you've played against that combo gun. Oh, you don't forget about it, Mafia. You do not forget about it. It is absolutely brutal. When I first experienced it, when it single-handedly was the thing that pushed me into playing Dragons. Because I was playing evasive skirmish bullshit, and I was having a good time with it. And then this gun came out, and it ruined my day. I kept getting paired into Richie at events, and he'd had the gun that just made me not be able to win games. First game you lost with the Warriors of Chaos, and yeah. Yep. It'll do that to you. I was about to send the list over. Boom. Boom! Who else have I seen in chat who is here? I saw Beanspud. Beanspud, you still here? Are you here? I don't want to do Amy's list too early, because Amy sometimes turns up about an hour or so into a stream, so I'll leave it for a little while. The list's pretty beautiful. It's the Blood Bowl Practice League. But it's still old world, I promise. Okay, so if Beanspud is still here, we've got back-to-back dwarves. Okay, that's fine. I like this list. I think it's an interesting take on the changes. So, Beanspud, Dwarf, and Mountain Holds. Casting gun with the organ gun ×4. Infantry to waddle up to onto objectives or to bunker up as the music gets going. Is the gun that wounds on a 2+ and does D3 damage versus behemoths any good? I don't think... Here's the thing. It's not a 2+. It's a 3+, right? I'm pretty sure Master Rune Slaying is a 3+. Yeah, it's a 3+. If you're going full... if you're going for a full gun line, I don't hate it, but I wouldn't take it to try and kill dragons, because you're a handgun, so you're AP1, right? AP1 Armor Bane 1. Yes, you under the 3+, and then they save on a 4+, so it's kind of whatever, they've got triple save. It's really good at threatening banshees, but your opponent, if they're smart, shouldn't ever give you just like an easy shot into the banshees, so... yeah. Anyway. Looking at the list, you have no engineers. Okay, immediately that needs to change, because you're going to be rolling every turn 8 artillery dice. And you're going to get misfires. Even just like mathematically, you're getting like 1.3 or whatever it is. So you need some engineers on there, I think. I'd say 2 engineers would be the way to go. So let's go double engineer. And maybe... oh, wait, hold on. You've gone for the BSB, but also given them... Right, let's try and be focused with these. So we've got Longbeard Brick with the Thane, and that's good. And we don't need to give them that. We can give them a great weapon. But realistically, he's just going to use a shield. And we probably want him to be not dying. So, something that one of my students today actually brought up was the Rune of Warding for a BSB. I actually quite like that. Just gives them a little bit more juice to not fall over immediately. And we probably don't need to bother going for anything else. Finally, Matt, remember to change your YouTube ID since they started using these in chat instead of their display name. Hell yeah, everyone should do that. My brain is like starting to catch up, but it does take me a while, especially when I'm like thinking about what's in front of me. And I look to the side, I'm like, hey, I should know who that is, and I don't, and I feel guilty about doing so. So if we go engineer with handgun, this is not as good as the Thane, but I wonder if it's worth going like rapid fire bursting flame on one of them, and then you go, would you give them even anything here? Maybe rapid fire and accuracy, 35 points to get 2 shots that always hit on 2s. It's not worth that, is it? We're just going to leave it as this. I've just changed my name so it matches the Discord. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good to see. But I think you definitely want 2 engineers. I'd rather have the Thane with the gun, but I think I don't want it on the unit that wants to be in combat. Because if you're only shooting it for like 2 turns, that sucks. Because it's kind of like it's more damage than the organ gun, realistically. So we've got Longbeard's Warriors. I think you can drop one of these. That's where we're going to get our spare points from. And honestly, these warriors, let's just make them Thunderers or Quarrelers. What do we want? Probably Quarrelers, right? Thunderers do more damage, but Quarrelers can stand back and feel happy about standing back. So if we give them full command, give them shields, we don't need to give them great weapons because their job is just to survive at range. And honestly, we could make the unit a little bit bigger, but we can tweak as we go. A couple of copters again. Just like I was saying before, we definitely don't want clatter guns on the regular copters because they just will not shoot anything. Steam guns, like, they're there as annoyance pieces, getting into the back lines, charging artillery, all of that good stuff. And then 4 organ guns. I feel like this list would benefit from a couple of cannons as well. I know cannons are bad. I know they're not good. But it just gives you, like, direct line damage. But we have to lose things to get there. Okay, so the king is... It's just the good king. Okay, great. The Thane is also good. Don't think we bother with Rune of Hesitation. Like, one thing that I've learned with Dwarf lists is you don't want to dissuade your opponent from charging your your big brick. If you put this on, they just never charge you. So you're like, oh, it's a shame that I only move 3 inches. I'll never get there. If you don't put this on, some people will be baited into charging you. instead of trying to hunt down all of your squishy stuff in the backlines, and that's ideal for you because that's where you excel. It's like, when does a dwarf player lose combat with the big brick with the, you know, the Master Rune of Grogny and the King with the Rune of Smiting? It's, you just, not many things can deal with you, you know? That rat bastard, this is my government name. It's not. I won't, you know, I'm not going to out you, but I know what your government name is. So, drop the runesmith. I like the runesmith. Like, you probably could. Like, we could drop this. We could, honestly, like, maybe we don't even give them any upgrades. We just go double engineer, and then we go for another Thane. And this Thane is the shooty Thane. So we go boom, boom, boom. Give him a shield, and give him a handgun. This immediately feels better to me. The other thing that I feel like we're missing is Iron Drakes. But are Iron Drakes rare? They are rare. They're not special. Okay. So we've replaced the Iron Drakes with the Organ Guns, which is... I guess that's why people are not as excited about it. What have we got? 1, 2, 3... Do we need 2 copters? Like, we can make this a really low drop list, and low drop lists are nice because you're looking for as much, like, as many turns of shooting as possible. So what if we go... Cannons are 100 points. That's so rude. Double cannon, 1 with the Stalwart rune, 1 with the Rune of Reloading. If we can... In fact, let's go reloading and Rune of Forging, and we'll just find the points for it. This puts us 59 points over. But these 2 cannons don't need an engineer, theoretically. So we can't drop this copter. And the reason for that is we need 3 units that aren't artillery. So we've got 1, 2, 3, then we've got cannons, then we've got characters. So this is a 5-drop list, which is about as low as you're realistically going to go if you're playing artillery. Okay, we don't need the great weapon here. You're just always going to use hand weapon shield, and that saves us a few points. We're 55 points over. I think it might just be that we drop the Thane. As sad as this is, and like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's better to drop an engineer and make it work that way. But let's go rapid fire bursting flame engineer, and we just deal with the fact that you have to roll on the hit penalties. But you've got a better ballistic skill. So, yeah. That's that. God, I really don't like not having Rune of Accuracy, but I don't think there's a way to get around it. But by putting 2 cannons in, you've got line shooting that can, like, snipe banshees, can snipe, like, characters out of unit, can snipe characters that are next to units, and are protected from ballistic skill shooting as long as you land on the head. This gives you the ability to try and get enemy artillery, although you're not going to have a great time at that. But if they're killing your cannons first, it gives your organ guns more time to fire. So I think double cannon makes sense here. And then we've got 25 points to spend, which is Rune of Battle. There we go. Boom. And I think this works pretty well. Like, honestly, maybe these Longbeards just become rangers, and you go really double down on everything shoots. But I think having a dedicated melee unit might still be more correct than not doing that. I don't know. I think it needs refining. But I think this is a good step in the right direction. Was it you that said you were going to be at the Saffron Slam next weekend? I think it was, wasn't it? Again, it's been a nice active chat today. Love that. It is starting to pick up when now if I want to check something in the chat history, it's actually quite hard to do. So thanks all. Appreciate you all being here and being active. And speaking of being active, if you haven't already, if you joined later in the stream, please do give the stream a thumbs up because it helps me get picked up by the algorithm. One day I will remember to get a sound changer so I can put it on my, do a deep booming voice when I say the algorithm. Purely for me. It's not for you. It's for me. So I'll have to do some sort of sound feedback so I can hear it as well. But that's fine. Just come back from grabbing my tea, and how many organ guns? 4. The correct number. I actually think these things are interesting. So an organ gun is only 2 shots. It's multi-barreled, so it's only 2 artillery die. And if you roll a misfire on 1, you get -1 to hit. And if you roll a misfire on 2, there's no shots, you roll on the misfire table. So you're unlikely to ever blow up, but you are likely to get a low number of shots with -1 to hit, which is why you want the engineers nearby, so that you can re-roll on the shots. And if you have 1 engineer nearby 2 organ guns, you should be roughly covered. And if you don't need it on the second one, you can always re-roll a low dice if you want to gamble and try and get a little bit more juice out of them. It's a little bit of a shame that they can't, well, it's a lot of a shame that they can't pass their ballistic skill on the way that Empire engineers can. That actually really annoys me. Anyway, the big thing here is their 30-inch range. Strength 5, AP1, Armor Bane 2 is like the same, but 30-inch range actually means that you can put them in your deployment zone and get some use out of them. You can spread them wide and still find value out of having them. So I quite like organ guns as a concept. Anyway, yeah, I think this is how we would go with that. Cool. What do we want to have a look at next? Tell you what, I've seen Jalib. Heralds of Darkness. Let's have a look at a Heralds of Darkness list. Because you know I got a weakness. I got a weakness for some character chariots. Jalib says, idea of the Exalted Champion with Cackling Blade and Totem of Wrath got me back on the Chosen Chariot train. Okay, that's a lot of points. I think I'm on board. Let's see it. The Aspiring Champs are flails to match the initiative of Charioteers for challenge purposes. Love that. Big fan of that. Oh, look how many points you've put into the Exalted Champion. Wait, hold on. Leadership 8. Oh, Aspiring Champions are leadership 8 as well. Okay, yeah, cool. Chariots, I wake. Yeah, real shit. Dragons, I sleep. Chariots, I wake. Love that for us. Okay, so we've got the aforementioned character with Totem of Wrath and Cackling Blade, 2 Favors of the Gods. Brazen Will. Oh, yeah. You can't do that because it's infantry and cavalry only. Sorry, bud. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. You could make it Mark of Zinch and then give something else Mark of Zinch. Or you could give it another mark. Or you can play around with marks, potentially. Then you've got Aspiring Champion numero uno, Flail. So they're initiative 4 here. Is the Exalted Champion initiative 5? It is. That kind of sucks just for challenge purposes. But that's fine. So, Aspiring Champion, Flail, as you mentioned, Undivided, Chosen Chariot, Brazen Will, again, sorry bud, and Talisman of the Carrying Crow, Favour of the Gods. Okay. And then the other one I'm assuming is going to be Crown, 2 Favour of the Gods, but otherwise the same. And we've got to get rid of that Brazen Will. Of course, it's infantry and cavalry only. Hey, if Warhammer players could read, I'd be out of a job. Like, no shade to you specifically, massive shade to everyone who plays Old World, including myself. You see me read things for the first time on stream. Sometimes I just get it wrong or misread it. We've got Double Gigantic Spawn. Yep, that makes sense to me. And then we've got Marauders, Chaos Knights with Dark Hearts. I do like Dark Hearts. It's the one that gives the minus leadership, right? Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay. Brazen Collar for the magic resist makes sense. Lancer's Shields, Undivided. It makes sense, but it's super uninspired. The core for this army is so bad. It's so sad, frankly. It is so sad. So, what do we want to do? Do we want to make things Zinch? I don't think we... will you do Bretonnian list? Did anyone submit a Bretonnian list? We've got a 1,000 point Bretonnian list in here. I think that might be the only one. That's wild, honestly. I think Bretonnians are one of the more interesting ones to build around. I guess not that much changed, other than you just don't run Royal Pegasus now and you run Barded Pegasus. So, yeah, okay. Like, I hate this. This feels just not good. But I don't think there's anything better. Like, I'm not saying that you've made a mistake. I just don't know how to make this useful. I hate Heralds of Darkness to its very core. It should be a Chosen Army, not Horse Army. I mean, Chosen Chariots, though. You can't hate Chosen Chariots. Not without being wrong. Yeah. Like, this is a lot of points for this gimmick. I don't know that it's worth. But, again, you know, I'm down to try it. Not sure what to do with my Bretts. I have a beautifully painted Duke on roll Pegasus, and now you just don't want to use them. You can... it's on the same base size as a Hippogriff, so you can just call it a Hippogriff if you wanted to go down that route. Or you could just put it on a smaller base. Maybe with some tactical rocks to put it on, like, a really high plinth. Cool. 35 points here. I mean... honestly, you're a mid-speed army, so going second is not bad here. It might literally just be we add in 2 units of Warhounds with Vanguard for screening purposes, and then we cut some points in core, and we call it a day. That might genuinely be the best thing to do. Flares, light armor, shields, ambushes, skirmishes, unnatural fortitude. Yeah, like... drop 1 to 6, so you've got an 8 and a 6. Oh, wait, hold on. Well, that's a bummer. We're a few points over. We could drop the second Favor of the Gods from this model. No, I like 2 Favor of the Gods. I really like a second one. I've been looking at Cold One Chariots and hoping they get good, but they never do. What am I doing wrong? Playing Dark Elves, unfortunately. And you know that makes me sad, because I am a big fan of Dark Elves. Honestly, we could probably just drop the Musician on the smaller squad. Like, you can play around with the core. I don't want to tweak the core forever, because I think it's just incredibly sad. But I like what you're doing. I haven't really got any, like, proper tweaks to make on this list. I think this is too expensive for what it does. Like, it's not far off. It's the same price as a Warpfire Dragon. It's not far off a Chaos, like, Exalted Champion on Dragon. It's significantly worse, unfortunately. But it's way cooler. And I do want to try and make it work. Obviously, the double chariots with regen is just great. Yeah. Could cut ambushes from one of the Marauder units. Took it mostly to fill the points. Yeah, okay. So let's cut ambushes here then and put the Musician back on. In fact, let's do it the other way round. So the 8... Oh. Only one of them had ambushes. Oh, I'd like one of them to have ambushes. So yeah, we'll cut Musicians there. Like, having 6 that can come into the back line is nice, and it does keep your drops low if you want to go down that route. 400-point chariots. Catching Cetrasire. I think Cetra would be appreciative, you know? Like, you look at this and you go, hell yeah. In fact, Cetra, it's like, was it Ice-T that did Pimp My Ride? Whichever rapper it was that they took from rapping about the gang crime that he committed through his teens and 20s and 30s or whatever. Like, hey, we're going to get you to work on cars, or, like, talk about cars, and someone else will do the work. Exhibit! That was it. Exhibit. Exhibit is the Pimp My Ride guy. Yeah. Alright, cool. I've made minimal tweaks to this jib, but I like the cut of your jib, is all I can say. We all just aged ourselves. Okay. Let's find out when Pimp My Ride was. I didn't watch it, so let's find out. 2004. That's not that long ago. That's only 22 years ago, which in terms of, like, if you watch something growing up, that only puts you in, like, your 30s to 40s. Now, that might sound ridiculous for me to say only 24 years ago, but when I went to the Masters, I had multiple people tell me that I was so young, and I'm 32. So there's hope for us all. Cope. Only 22 years ago. No, it was only 24 years ago. Oh, no, was it 22? Yeah, I did say 22. It's not Cope. I am surrounded by my peers who are all older than me. So, you know, I guess I'm still the young one. For whatever reason. For whatever reason, I should untilt this chair. Why does it not want to play ball? There we go. There we go. Your high elf army is older than that. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Where are we up to? Who else have I seen in chat here? Whippersnapper fixes list, new stream. Yeah, that's it. Young man. Nice young man fixes your list for you. There are people younger than Pimp My Ride who can legally drink in America. Yeah, but like you can't drink until you're 21 over there, which is wild. I pretty much had done all of my drinking by the time I hit 21. I got it out of my system in a 3-year burst, and then I did a little bit more later, but not a lot. And now I'm pretty much done. You know, we do efficiency over here. Efficiency in our binge drinking. I want to look at a Wild Hunt list. I don't have Papa Nurgles here, but we've got Wild Hunt list that says Wild Hunt! Exclamation mark. Alternative would be no Orion and a Stag plus Oakenstaff Mage instead, but he's pretty cool, open to broader changes, just not double dragon. Okay, so we've got one dragon already. I think I like the Stag more than Orion. Like, even with Orion, who exists and now can no longer be sniped out by non-magical shooting, apart from cannons, I still like the Stags more, and I think you get more mileage from Stags, but I don't know that I'd go with a Wizard with Oakenstave. I think I'd just go two Stags, honestly. 3-year burst of drinking, then you turn 9. How did you know I was from the Northeast? Okay, so this all looks solid. I like unit champions. Oh, no, definitely no standard bearers and wild riders. If you're not trying to, like, if you're not putting a load of commitment into them, you definitely don't want standard bearers, because this unit will 100% die, and you're going to give up an extra 50 points. So, like, you've also got, what, that unit has 19 attacks or 18 attacks. So I like a unit champion on it, because it's probably going to come with a character, especially because we're looking at Stags, and we can just drop the Orion here. But yeah, so let's drop the standard bearers, because standards are just vessels for points for our opponents. Unit champions are good, because then we can buddy them up with the Glade Lord and accept the challenge there. These Glade Riders, no. No. This is not the place for Totem of Wrath. Like, I'm not opposed to Furious Charge to get a little bit more oomph out of them. With a leadership 10 general with the Glade Lord, you can be pretty consistently not running away, not charging in with this unit if you don't want to be. But I don't think I'd be putting a 50-point magic banner on them to make them a little bit better at something that they're already not good at. And again, I'd say probably True Flight Arrows. Like, this would be my default. Just, this is a unit that's trying to do a thing over the course of 6 turns. It's trying to chip away, and then if it gets a charge in, it's better than you expect it to be. The Warhawk Riders, again, if you're flying the Bodkins, I don't think are going to do much, and there's only 3 of them, so let's just try and use them to pick off the smaller things. You've got tools in your list to deal with the armoured threats. What you don't have are easy ways to pick off the fast-moving skirmishers. 3 Warhawk Riders. Yeah, you can only take them in units of 3 or greater. I do like a unit champion on there, again, to buddy up with the dragon. We can drop down to just a single Deepwood Hound. I assume you did that just to fill points. So we can go 1 and 1. And then we look at some characters, and this is where list gets spicy, I find. I wouldn't be opposed to giving one of the units of Wild Riders a standard and Totem of Wrath. If you're like, you know what, I really want to just point at something and it dies, I think that's a really good way to do it. And then you also put like some sort of supportive character in there. I think that makes a lot of sense. But we could go Lord, Captain, both of them on Great Stag, and let's see how many points we've got to play around with. I like having one who's tanky, because they can run around unsupported and get in with the dragon really nicely, and then one that's just going to hit pretty hard. So something like Great Weapon, Wild Rider Kindreds, you can join with the Wild Riders. This is important because it gives you Furious Charge, Frenzy for the extra attacks, but it also gives you Counter Charge. So you can put it in with the Wild Riders without losing Counter Charge, which in some matchups is really nice. Give them a Great Weapon, so they've got 5 attacks at, we can also give them... what's it called? What am I trying to do here? No, we can't give them the extra strength. Don't be daft. That's not how that works. I think we can keep this character relatively cheap if it's in the unit. Honestly, I don't think we need to give it all that much. We probably want to give it... Like, Helm of the Hunt's really nice, but it's 50 points. It does get you up to a 2-up save if you run solo, but this is not the character we want to run solo. So I think we probably just go... Charm, shield, call it a day. So you want a shield anyway, just in case you get sniped. Or if your unit dies, and it gives you a little bit more protection there. Comes with a longbow anyway. I'm not opposed to talismanic tattoos, but we'll see how many points we've got left. Wait, I think the Wild Rider Kindred might give you the tattoos anyway. Let me just double check. Yeah, it does, so we don't need to pay for those. Amazing. Okay, so this is giving you a lot of output there, which is nice. I also would like to give it the aspect of the Hound. Reroll 1s to hit would be nice on the Wild Riders, but then you lose the counter charge and you lose those 2 attacks on the Captain, so it's probably not worth doing. In terms of just running a solo character like this, how many points have we got? 187. We've obviously got less here, but we can go a little bit beefy on this boy. Go for a little bit of beef. I mean, if you just want to go beef, this is not a bad solo character to run around. It doesn't do all that much damage, but it can run around solo and support the dragon. Or, I actually think this is a really good... Wood Elves are a really good army to look at the Cackling Blade. Very similar to what I was doing prior to that. And instead of going for the bear, which gives you the +1 strength and toughness, you go for Aspect of the Boar, which gives you additional AP1 on the charge and a single impact hit on top of the impact hits you get from the stag. You can't get to a 2-up armor save if you go with the Cackling Blade, which is a little bit of a shame. So it's probably just, if you want to keep him alive, you use Talisman Protection already, right? Yeah. So it's probably just Charmed Shield. And then maybe even, like, I quite like an Orion's Favor here. It giving you reroll to hit and wound on the, like, just going in with the Cackling Blade and doing as much damage as possible. I think that works pretty well. And we can also give you, I've got an Annoyance on Netlings here. I like a Befuddlement of Mischiefs, but I actually think I'd prefer to see it on, wait, has the Captain not got the Wild Rider Kindred? There we go. How many points are we on? Okay, so one of the things I like is the Befuddlement of Mischiefs to give them -1 to weapon skill and initiative. This is nice if you're playing in like an elf mirror and you're like, oh god, how am I going to deal with those dragon princes? You charge them, they countercharge you, they're -1 to their initiative, you strikes first anyway, and they are sad. That just works pretty nicely. Or, you know, various bits and pieces. The -1 weapon skill is really nice as well. It helps with a lot of breakpoints, because Wild Riders being weapon skill 5 means that they are more likely to hit on 2s, and they're less likely, or more likely to hit on 3s as well. If you go into elite infantry like Warriors of Chaos, hitting on 3s is really nice, because you want to punch enough that you don't get hit back too hard, and the same for just, you don't want anything that's, I guess, weapon skill 6 to hit you too easily, and there's a lot of characters that are weapon skill 6. Can't wait till Games Workshop comes out with a plastic Warhawk unit. The metal ones are a bitch to put together. Yeah, I think this is where I'd go, hey, time to get some nice prints from Etsy, which, you know what, I should at this time plug Beowulf Miniatures. You can go to Beowulf Miniatures, who has a website, but also you can find on Etsy, who does plenty of 3D prints, and I don't know if he does a Warhawk, but I would not be surprised. There's a lot of stuff on there, and if not, I've plugged you terribly, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I think that's kind of where we want to be, right? Oh, we want Meteoric Iron on this character as well. Wait, why are you so expensive? Ah, we don't need a Befuddlement of Mischiefs on this. Like, you can really triple down, but you just don't need it. You're already the best challenge character already. So getting that Meteoric Iron is going to give you more juice over the Befuddlement, and it then gives us 15 points. What did I say I wanted to put in? I mean, I wanted to put Befuddlement of Mischiefs on this character. So, with 15 points, we can go... Is that... That's not... No, it's not another Glade Rider. 15 points is an awkward amount of points. Import taxes for the Netherlands cost you, and I'm like, I didn't realize you were also... also Dutch. Good to have you. Obviously, I've publicly said I've thrown my hat in the ring with the Dutch for this year's WTC. Really looking forwards to the run-up to that. It's nice to not be focusing on international play because it takes up a lot of your time, but also I do miss it. Like, I'm already being like, kind of wish I was prepping for another international tournament right now. Anyway, we'll get there soon, and I'll be wishing to have my evenings free. But yeah, I actually don't know that there's anything here that I super want. The Dutch will have the best smack talk. Alright, I'm on board with that. How do I spend this 15 points? Why are elves so damn expensive? What are we doing here? I don't hate a musician on the Sister of the Thorn, because they're the sort of unit that might want to run away. We've got one there. It's 9 points. I guess we can just put in one more Beast Pack. One more Deepwood Hound, and that'll do. But yeah, those last 15 points were not the easiest ones in the world to spend. Buy a champion and eat sword. Yeah, but like the Wild Riders don't want it, because if you're giving them like a Sword of Might, they're actually losing damage. Yes, they've got magical attacks. Honestly, actually, I probably should have given one of these two the Resplendent Luminescence. That would have been so much better. God damn it, I'm gonna have to fix this now. There we go. We're still 5 points, but this is just better. So the Resplendent Luminescence means that you can just give... You've got magical attacks on your like model and any unit they join. And that gives you better protection against Ethereal. But I really like it on the normally Great Weapon character. He's got magical attacks, but it is what it is. Yeah, you can swap it between the Captain of the Lord, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to move on from here. But basically... Resplendent Luminescence is good. It makes it into basically every one of my lists, either on a shooting character or a melee character. Okay, where were we up to? So we got... Alright, we're about halfway through. I am hungry. Oh, I haven't eaten since 3 o'clock. I should fix that. I'll do that after the stream. I think we should look at something completely different. And you know what? Someone was asking about Bretonnia, so let's have a quick look at the Bretonnian list here. Let's go up to here. Boom. Alright, so this is Evil Wabbit's Bretonnia. And they said, I've got a 1,000 point battle tomorrow. Interested in your thoughts after the changes for Brett's. Many thanks. Okay. Well, 1,000 points is a little bit difficult. But, what have we got? Okay. So this is just Grand Army, right? Yeah, it looks like Grand Army. Or do you lose drilled if characters in the unit don't have it? No, drilled is most of the unit. I said that confidently with my whole chest, but I'm just gonna double check on stream. Yes, it doesn't say that the unit has to have it. So as long as the unit has it, the character doesn't have to unit. If it was one of the rules that you lost for not having it, it would say if the whole unit has this rule. Get yourself a Eurocopter if you're hungry. Very good. Yeah, I'll go down to test costs later. Night Oak by Phil. This falls very short of the promised Infinite Paladin list. Oh, you're up to something, are you? Is it Wood Elf related? Because that'd be cool. Or no, it's probably Dark Elf related, right? With drilled Cold One Knights. Cold One Knights have drilled, right? It's been a while since I've looked at this. I'm sure you can buy it for them. They do not have drilled. Alright, it's probably for Wood Elves then. Probably for Wood Elves. So, here we've got a level 2 Battle Magic Wizard. I don't think that's going to do much. I'm not opposed to a level 1 Damsel, but I don't think 2 spells in Battle Magic are going to get you there. So you're probably just going level 1 and sitting on Illusion, and then maybe taking one of the... like either Lady's Gift for the regen, the Lady's Wrath for the like just pumping out extra damage, or Glittering Robes. I think that's generally going to be best. You could go Battle Magic for Hammerhand, but I think it's probably just Illusion is the best choice there. We've got the Paladin, BSB, Lance, Shield, no upgrades there. That's fine. It's super cheap, 82 points. I don't hate that at all. Then we've got this Baron. I really don't like this Baron's loadout. So you've gone for Sword of the Stout-Hearted, which is like it's fine, but I think I'd rather just be like, hey, let's go for the Ogre Blade and get, spend those extra points and have the super killy character, and also make sure we've given them a shield. That's an important thing to do. Just the Ogre Blade Knightly Temper character will slap hard, although then you're over 250 points actually. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Because you've got to be no more than a quarter of the points, right? So maybe it's Cackling Blade. We're just like living on the Cackling Blade value here. And this unit goes with Totem Wrath. Like, that feels like a better allocation of points, I think. You're going to do more than with the Sword of the Stout-Hearted. You don't get the rerolls to hit, which is a real shame, because that is very valuable. But you do just get a lot of output there. I think more than with Sword of the Stout-Hearted, I would say. Like, otherwise, you could just go for a Lance. Frankly, a Lance is better than the Sword of the Stout-Hearted. Yeah, something like that. And then we've got a Lance of 6 with War Banner, Men-at-Arms, Peasant Bowman, Peasant Bowman. These ones want to be at least a little bit bigger so you don't lose them immediately to just any incidental damage. And then... where do we shave points here? Hard to do. Really hard to do. I actually don't think Cackling Blade's better than a Lance and Virtue of the Knightly Temper. I think that is better. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. And then you've got the 15 points over. I want everything in here. I don't want to drop anything. We could drop the Musician. That was easy. So we've got 7 points, and we just need 8 points. So it's probably just like this. And I think this is the version I'd go for. Yeah. It's a little light on magical attacks. So you'll suffer against Ethereal. I don't know that there's an easy way around that, unfortunately. Like, the Damsel could go back to being battle magic. On the thinking that if you're coming up against something that's got, like, heavy Ethereal, you can take at least a Hammer Hand. That might be the way to go with this one. But yeah, I think this was, like, a pretty well-optimized list in terms of what you're bringing. You may have gone too heavy into core, but core win games, and at 1,000 points, there's going to be less stuff to kill you, and you've got a pretty nice little flying Death Star, in that you've got the Baron, who can fly around there. Oh, wait, hold on. Your Damsel and the Paladin both going in the Knights of the Realm. That gives you... That gives you 7 models in a Lance. I don't like that. Maybe the Damsel's just on foot, right? No, this is fine. This is fine. Like, it's a little bit clunky, but it's probably still okay just to have the Lance of 7. And one of them is going to die pretty soon anyway. Yeah, I don't think so. You submitted a doubles list and you were just curious if there's an easy way to submit instead of 2 separate JSONs. Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, that is the easiest way to do it. There's no doubles function on Old World Builder. Maybe I should hit up the guy and say, hey, really like your program, use it on stream weekly. Have you considered doing this? Yeah, no, nice, easy one. I think it was, it's pretty straightforward, so I think it does a good thing. I was tempted to put the Paladin on a Barded Pegasus as well, and that would get out the, but then you lose the combat res and the Knights of the Realm there, so maybe that's not the way to go. Could go with a Foot Damsel as well, that works. 3 BOC Nobles with Ring of Fury and a DP. BOC, Blood of Calidor, okay, with Rings of Fury and a DP unit. Cooking, I think so. Does that give you weapon skill? I can't remember. I know it gives you a ward save. Yeah, +1 to your weapon skill. So your weapon skill is 7. Full plate, Dragon Armor, Impetuous. Like, if only it gave you Frenzy, or no, not Frenzy, and if only it gave you Furious Charge to get that additional attack. Rings of Fury and a DP unit. Cooking, I think so. The problem I have with that, and I don't have a problem with it necessarily, is that it's hard to allocate the attacks where you want to. I feel like if I'm doing that, I want to do it in a lance. Like I feel like a lance is the absolute optimal way to get the juice out of that unit. So paladins, I think, do it better than. Oops, why is that not open? Gosh darn it! I've closed. There we go. Yeah. I don't know. The 2-up save is nice though, and Bretonnians don't have a way of getting a 2-up save. So that does suck. Maybe it's one to think about. Just a load of... How cheap is that? A noble is... Oh god, it's not cheap at all, is it? Because you want to go lance, full plate, shield. You get the full plate from the Blood of Caledor for free at least. And you get a 6-up ward save, but then you need a horse. Oh, 109 points? That's so pricey. Oh, and then the Ring of Fury as well. So you're at what, 134 points? That is not nothing. That is not nothing for sure. I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm not sold. The Paladin is 82 points for a lance and all of the good stuff there. Like, obviously it's worse, but it's not appreciably worse. Okay. Cool. So we've looked at this one already, and let's have a quick look at the Wood Elf Battle March list, just as a palate cleanser before we go into some evil things. So, Battle March. We've got a Glade Captain on Stag. Glade Captain on Stag at 750 points is pretty tasty. So, Bear to get you to Strength and Toughness 5 with a Great Weapon and Talisman of Protection and a Shield. Yeah, cool. Okay, this is going to be hard to deal with, I think. I'd like to see... Do we have points? No, we don't have points to give it Resplendent Luminescence, because then we're... Wait, hold on. What is a quarter of 750? My brain's all wrong. Yeah, it's 187.5. Ooh, so we can give it magical attacks. I think I value that. We'll come back and tweak that in a sec. Sorry, Skulls. If I'd realised I'd have done your list earlier. Not able to... off to bed, got 2 Beastman games tomorrow and 1 on Sunday. Stay cool. Alright, enjoy. That's a lot of Warhammer. Love to hear it. Okay, so we've got 7 Glade Guard with Arcane Bodkins, 6 Glade Riders with Reserve Move and True Flight Arrows, Wild Riders, Deepwood Scouts. Yeah, this looks good. And what does the Glade Captain join? I guess it just runs around solo, right? Runs around solo pretty happily. Of course, Skulls. As a channel member, you get priority preference. Gotta say thank you to the people who support. The level 1 Spellsinger, like, I feel like I want it to be just a little bit more useful. So let's do what I was doing in my list. Let's give it the Ascendi's Bane, and then just never reroll a hit roll. And to get there, we drop like 1 Glade Rider. I think that feels pretty good. Thanks, Skulls. Doing a better job of self-promotion than I am. Yeah, well, that one I think was just, again, like a pretty good list. So it didn't need much tweaking. I just want to make sure we've got magical attacks in there somewhere to deal with Ethereal. And then also, I think since we have to cut points somewhere, giving the Spellsinger a bow means that the loss of the 1 Glade Rider doesn't actually feel like that much of a loss, because we're still getting that shot out of them. It's and then they should never be really interacted with because they're reserve move. I heard on one of my other streams, I'm also a Magic the Gathering player. That's true. What Warhammer army should make the set? Should they make the set of? Oh, I loathe Universes Beyond, so none of them, as far as I'm concerned. I'm really new to Magic as well. I've been playing for 3 years, I think, basically just after Lord of the Rings. MTG MOTR. When did that come out? 2023. So I guess I've been playing for 2.5 years because it was just after that set was wrapping up. But yeah, not a fan of Universes Beyond, which is a shame because I've joined at a time when that's all they're doing. Sag. All right. Let's go. We've got two evil, three evil, and two good. So we'll start off with Wolves of the Sea, and we'll end with Wolves of the Sea, and then in between we'll have some other things. So let's start off with Jorkif's Wolves of the Sea. Chaos list on a 4-player team as a sword/non-magic list. Team with orcs and goblins, Bretts, and Wild Herd. The fact that it's specified as non-magic is interesting. I don't think that Warriors of Chaos typically want wizards, but it almost makes me feel like that was a deliberate choice, which I'm not sure why it would be. It's probably just the way that it's been worded, but let's have a look here. So we've got the Chaos Lord on Dragon with a flail. See, I don't like this. I much prefer the double Exalted Champion. That's my preference, but it's down to personal preference there. I think I'd drop the Mark and Nurgle, honestly, for another Favor of the Gods. Because if you have to re-roll on your first one, you then just don't get to roll for the rest of the game because being stupid is such a hindrance. So, and also the Great Weapon is better, in my opinion, because A, in long combats against other dragons, you actually have a chance of killing them, and B, it means that you get more attacks with the at the initiative step in terms of being locked in a challenge. Wolves look so good to collect with the new Marauders. Hell yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Double spawn is good, love that. And then we've got, what's the equipment on this? Great weapon, dragon. So meteoric, yeah, okay, cool. So great loadout there. I really would prefer just to see double Exalted Champion, but it's not me playing it, so I don't want to just tweak that, even though I think it's better. In terms of your core, then, you've got the Marauders, which is a unit with always giving me Musician. If you tie combat, you're going to be so sad. Carrion Crow is fine, but probably too much of a gimmick. Like, I don't know that it's worth spending 25 points for, but we'll leave it on, because I think it's so early that it's worth testing. This unit definitely wants, not Battle Hunger, but a Natural Fortitude. Like, just T5. Like, Battle Hunger is nice. Like, getting closer is nice. But what if they just couldn't kill you because you were T5 and skirmishers, so you're hard to shoot anyway? I genuinely think that's just a much better way of doing things. You can't charge the turn you come on anyway. So what if you came in the back lines and they just couldn't respond to you? And then a lot of the stuff that you want to deal with in the back lines is pretty static anyway. It's old world. It's hard to run a big distance away from you. And then we've got the Horseman with, I think I really wouldn't bother with points on these, but I'm going to leave it on because it's the... No, I'm not leaving it on. So we'll go a Natural Fortitude here over the Cult of the Carrion Crow, because just you're better off giving them the toughness all of the time instead of only having it some of the time, right? And I think we go down to 6 and 6, and then we drop like 1 Marauder, I guess, for points. That puts us at 1995. Is there anything else that we're missing here? I don't think there is. I think this is... I guess the Mark and Nurgle here might have been thematic, but... Is there anyone else that needs a musician? Oh, I want musicians on both of these, but I'm not going to put it on one of them. That doesn't feel particularly useful. You've got ambushes on both of them. Ambushes on one of them. So maybe we put a... I would give this one ambushes as well, honestly, but... Yeah, I don't know. There's no traits here that are for 5 points only. No. There's no gifts that are super cheap. I mean, it would have to be 4 points on this character, but we could do it on the Exalted Champion. 1995 feels like it's not correct. Let's give... I mean, it's a 6-point musician there. My personal preference is to keep units the same. So, like, if I've got 2 units that are very similar, I don't want to give one of them upgrades that is different to the other one, unless it's something, like, really obvious, like a banner that gives you a buff to your shooting. Because that's decidedly different. Will Empire 1.5.2 be one of the lists tonight? There is an Empire list in. It is Two Hands' list. Is the one that I've got here for Empire. Which, in fact, let's look at that one next. Let's go with Two Hands Empire list. And Two Hands put some context in the chat as well, so let's scroll up. Let's go. Where did we get up to? Pretty sure I've just scrolled past. Okay. You're kind of considering bringing this to a tournament since the comp allows all core units to score and all infantry and cavalry to also score, unless they fly or are ethereal. I'm not good enough to contend with the top players, but it feels like this list like this would be pretty fun. Any and all advice? Want to stick to the theme of infantry and you want to try using flagellants and priests. Okay, yeah, so this is the only time that I can see a use for flagellants. And God, they're still so pricey. Oh no, they didn't get changed. 13 points per models. I feel like we definitely want to give them at least a unit champion, right? If you're putting the priest with them. Whether or not you give them a standard bearer is kind of by the by, but yeah. So, given that everything scores, what are we doing here? No engineer for the cannons. Evening. Is this unit worth putting in the list? I feel like if you're doing it, you want to give it some magic resist as well, right? So if you're taking this unit and you're putting all the points into them and they're 2-up armor save, you may as well give them MR2 as well, so they've got some value. And again, let's make sure that we're doing that on the units as well. Witch Hunter's Ward there on that. Then we've got the captain with the Monster Hunter Tapestry. I think that's a good buy for here. It's on foot, and this character's got nothing at all. We can give them a Charmed Shield at least. Just go through and do the normal efficiency upgrades. Tune the list. The Empire Knights, full command drilled. I would rather lose the Standard Bearer and Musician and go Stubborn. Like, it's the same points, and I think it's just more beneficial. Yeah, that feels better. I would like them to have magic resist as well. When you've got such cheap access to MR2, I feel like it's just wrong not to bring it, you know? So this priest, who's got the twice blessed or armor, can also get the Witch Hunter's Ward. They synergize relatively nicely, and will give them a Charmed Shield as well, because they are providing some level of buffing. So you don't have to use it, but the Great Weapon is there as well. Enchanted Shield, you don't have a large enough wound pool for that to be worthwhile, so let's just go Charmed Shield and get a slightly more useful ward save there. We've got a level 3 Demonology Wizard, Lore Familiar. You definitely want a Power Scroll on this character, because that way you're going to be able to consistently get your spell off. The Captain we've looked at already, and then you've got the General, who is on foot. I don't think this character does anything at all, other than providing leadership. Does it stack with MR1 and MR2 from WHW? What is WHW? Oh, Witch Hunter's Ward, sorry. Stack with MR1. Who's got MR1? The priest has MR1. Okay. I think you probably drop one of the priests, honestly. I don't think you need the second one. And this character here I don't think is doing anything either. So right now, you've got the Captain of the Empire, who joins the Veteran State Troops. You've got the Great Swords. Who did you say joins the Great Sword? Priests go with the Flagellant and Great Sword. Oh, okay, so you were planning on putting one on there as well. Okay, so we can give them a Charmed Shield. Okay, I don't hate that. Where's the Charmed Shield gone? It's higher up. Why am I looking down here? And we can go Great Weapon Heavy Armor as well. Free reroll on the armor. Yep, that is true. That is true. So if we're going MR1, we can actually, as you pointed out, drop the Witch Hunter's Ward. So this one doesn't need a Witch Hunter's Ward because you've got MR1. Like, MR2 is better, but if we've already got MR1, I'm not sure that I want to pay to upgrade it. So this is probably going down to 6, realistically. That's where we're going to find some of the points. Then we've got... this one wants to have MR, but honestly, we can just put that on the BSB because we don't want it to die anyway, and we're going to throw our unit champion under the bus, right? So we put the MR here. So now we've got MR2 on the State Troops, MR1 on the Greatswords, MR1 on the Flagellants, MR2 on the Inner Circle Knights, MR2 on the Empire Knights. Cool. And we've got double cannon. I don't think this general's doing anything. I'm not 100% sure what the role of it is, because he's got a great weapon and 3 attacks that are sad. And he's got a ward save, which isn't going to realistically keep him alive. Perhaps Elector. Yeah, so the problem is we need something of leadership 9 or better. So yeah, I guess you could go with Elector instead. If you want to lean into this as a theme. It's so expensive, though. Ugh. I think we might just be trying to do too many things. I think this unit here, the Inner Circle Knights, maybe this goes away. What does Fiery Heart do? Reroll wants to hit and wound. Reroll wants to hit and wound on that unit is actually pretty tasty, but I think that's the thing that, like, we've got Flagellants, we've got Greatswords, and we've got Core, and we've got extra Knights. I think it's too many units, so we drop one of them. At which point, is it worth running him at the shut-off fly at leadership 10? You can do. I don't think this list benefits from shutting off fly. Like, I don't think it can capitalize too well. So if we put back in, let's say, the general, like, I think what this list could benefit from is having a Griffin, honestly. Like, a cheap, punchy character that can countercharge, I think is actually pretty tasty. So if we go... Witch Hunter's Ward, and I know you've got it already, but we're going to change things over. Like this. 271. Keeps it cheap. Relatively punchy. Nice countercharge unit. And then this character here. Take off the twice plus armor. Take off the Witch Hunter's Ward because you've already got MR1. Go heavy armor. And that saves us a lot of points. And then this character can give an 18-inch bubble of leadership 10. That's pretty nice. Fiery Heart isn't as good as Inner Circle. Yeah. I wouldn't go Inner Circle. I wouldn't go Fiery Heart on the Knights here. I wouldn't be opposed to giving them another one. Like giving them the White Wolf. Law. Not Law. No worries, Matteo. Matteo? Definitely butchered that, sorry. It's Old World Builder. You can go to old-world-builder.com or just Google Old World Builder. So, by making, like, cutting an entire unit, I think what we're lacking here is numbers. And honestly, I think Flagellants need the numbers more than anything else. So going up to 22 with a standard bearer, and then plus a priest. Like, this is probably the version I'd go for. If you're looking to run specifically all infantry score, you can demonology the greatswords, so you've got a 6x3 unit. The flagellants are just kind of beefy-ish, or as beefy as they get. The state troops are pretty beefy in the combat res, and you've got the character support, and then you've got the general running around. No engineers for these two, but honestly, you probably want to spread them wide, so maybe you just don't bother running the engineers and just hope that you don't misfire, because there's no real way to efficiently do that. That will do. Excellent. That's the classic dumb Englishman approach. They say, "Oh, just use the shorthand version. That's all you can manage." You are welcome, two hands. You're welcome. All right, great. So we've gone one bad, one good. Flagellants without charging are like a bad state troops, right? Flagellants are not good, but sometimes you're like a pet unit gets buffed, and you're like, yeah, I just want to run it. I just want to see, you know. What's a good meme to list to run? That one. That one. Something like the Dragon Bow. Any good on that particular general build? Yeah. Dragon build. The Dragon Bow's not bad. I feel like in the meta theoretically that he's going into, which is lots of infantry, I don't know that I want like a single multi-shot there. Dragon Bow isn't through and through, is it? If it is, then we definitely want to put it in. Dragon bow does whatever a dragon bow does. Yeah, no through and through. Like, I feel like this event is going to be low on multiple wound things to shoot. All right, let's go with Amy's Troll Horde list, which is called Blood Bowl Practice League. So there's definitely some context given to this one. Let me just scroll up and have a look here. Have a look, you see. The context is... The theme is abuse MSU trolls. Yeah, we've talked about this, and you can have up to 5. I really would go with River Trolls. I feel like that 4th wound is so big. So, for those of you who don't know the difference between trolls, which is, reasonable, common trolls are just terrible. They have no additional rules, but they're also the cheapest. They come in at 41 points. Stone Trolls, 4 points more. They get heavy armor instead of light armor instead of no armor. And they also get... No, that's it, sorry. They get Armored Hide 1. So they get a 5-up armor save. I knew they got a better save. And they get MR 1 as well. River Trolls don't get that. They get a 4th wound. So I really think it's not Stone Trolls. I think it's the... River Trolls. If we're going MSU, I feel like a 4th wound on each model just makes them so much harder to deal with. So we go River Troll, we make sure we give them a great weapon, and these are more expensive. Like, each one is more expensive than the one that you were running previously, so apologies for that. We have added a chunk of wounds to the list, but I just think it's got to be done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Because there's 3 Troll Hags, you can have 2 base plus 3 for additional... there. We're really abusing the fact that you can just run as many as possible because of the clarification to how the match play rules work there. So we're going with... Boom. So that puts us 30 points over, and that's okay, because we can cut 30 points by just dropping some orcs. So, we've got 8 individual trolls, and then we've got Troll Hags. So the first one is Glowy Green, Amulet, Battle Magic. Then the second one is Glittering Whatnots and Battle Magic, and the third one is Talisman of Protection, Troll Magic. This one, I mean, you've put me onto this, so I don't know why you've not done it. Burning Blade there. Because if you're Troll Magic, then you need some way of getting out of being locked in combat with Ethereal. And then we've got this caster with Idol of Mork, Obsidian Lodestone, Troll Magic. I don't know that I care for a single Obsidian Lodestone here. Because it's going to go in with the Orc mob, right? So it's got a Leadership 10 bubble. Is the General as well? No? No, the General's the other Troll Hag. Okay. That's fine. I feel like MR1 just isn't worth doing. So we either go MR2, we don't bother. What do we got? Idol of Mork for the reroll. That feels pretty good, I think. So, yeah, I mean, as always, you've refined this list pretty well. Oh, we were... that's why you didn't have a Burning Blade, because you were capped on... Hey! Good to see you. This is like one of our sessions, but you can't argue with me when I tell you that trolls are terrible. Is it too many points and characters? It was, yeah, because I had made a change, and I'm now seeing why. But I think, I mean, you've convinced me on this loadout specifically for trolls previously, so we don't need to tweak through. Basically, 2 of them are highly immune to magic. One of them's got a ward save. It's good stuff. They're all level 1s. You love to see it. Then we've got loads of trolls. I have swapped you over to River Trolls because that 4th wound is just big. It's too big to not go with. And then we just need to make some slight tweaks here. And the tweak can be not giving them thrusting spears, because there's no point. Like, honestly, if we're just tweaking list for efficiency, give them war bows. Even if they only shoot like once per game, it's better than not having the bows, and it's free. Like, you don't lose anything for doing it. And then we've got double Goblin Wolf Riders with spears, cav shields. Yeah, that's fine. So I think we just... We've got some points. Well, we got some points. What have I done? What have I done? We should be 2030. Have I deleted something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Obviously, we dropped 15 points from characters, but then we should still be over-capped on points. What have I done here? You've picked yourself up 2 of the Christmas troll boxes to get yourself an army soon. Nice, nice. I feel like Troll Horde are like, if you're not playing tournaments... Oh, just lost 37 points in the spears. Yep. It is a Friday evening, and I am running on 4 hours sleep. Thank you so much, Mosley. I appreciate you. I would have been looking for a long time there. Yeah. All right, cool. I think... Like, I don't feel like we need to make the Orc Mob any bigger. Is there anything we can do to make the unit safer? No. We can't fit another troll in, unfortunately. The Wolf Riders don't get any value out of anything ever. I guess we just put 22 points more of something in. War or Raggedy Banner. They've got the Monster Hunter Tapestry already. Make them skirmishes, but then they lose the Close Order. Both priests have Charm Shield and Great Weapon. What's the reason for that? So you probably want to use the Great Weapon in combat, but if you feel like your model's at risk of like having attacks put into it, or if you need to soak a challenge, it just gets you to a 3-up save, and it gives you a single-use 5-up ward save. So you can tank, you can blunt something mean going into you pretty effectively. Power Scroll on the Orc just in case. 20 points in a Power Scroll, right? So we don't have points for that. Yeah. Is there anything that's 15 points that's worth going with? Headbutt Nat. I mean, I'm not opposed. I guess the impact hit has lost a lot of value now that you can't kill unit champions with it. Wallop is one-hit wonder, though. Ooh. I don't think there's anyone that wants that. Wait, can you put that on... No, you can't put it on the unit champion. You know what? Actually, no. And you can only put it on goblins anyway. Okay, fine. Fine. I think it's just more orcs, and that's really dull. How are they 8 points per model? What the hell? So we're giving them shields, big uns. All right, yeah, cool. God, that's so sad that it's +2. It does take you up to 40, and I know you like your round numbers, so you can be like 8 by 5. So that's something. I think 1994 might be about as good as we get for rounding this out. Like, you could theoretically, instead of going Burning Blade, give it the... You can't even give it sort of striking. Or you could give him an Earthing Rod as well, actually. Oh, you know what? I actually fuck with that. An Earthing Rod here is nice because you're going to cast on the Troll Hag first. And then if you miscast, it might not fuck you up as much. I actually don't think a miscast on that model is particularly bad. But you know what? It's still not awful since we have 5 points and it is the character that's going to be casting first. Yeah. Let's get to it. But yeah, I mean, aside from changing all of your trolls to river trolls and taking off your spears, I think you were pretty much there, to be honest. Okie dokie. We've got a good army. We're back to Lizardmen, and this is Skull's Lizardmen list. So, there was probably some context with this one. C notes, there was indeed context. What is Skull saying? What are we looking at? Straight Cackling. This is a renegade list to test the Totem of Wrath Cold Ones. I carry out Cackling Blade because it seems like a good combo. High Magic Slan for Fury of Cain. I would say the only sacred part is the Cold Ones, and the Totem of Wrath I'm okay with big changes elsewhere. Okay, cool. So, at its core, this looks fine. I like Bastillod and Stegodon. I'm not sure I'm sold on. Although, I guess one Engine of the Gods is good in Renegades because it's just, if you're within range, you get +1 to your cast. Yeah. Okay, Solar Engine doesn't give you plus to cast or anything like that. +1 to initiative. That I don't care about that because their initiative is so bad anyway. So we can probably drop the Bastiladon like that. It might go back in, but I'm not actually convinced that that's good. And then we've got Temple Guard and the Slan. So Wand of Jet is quite nice. Becoming Cogitation's the Dispel thing, right? Yeah. Even with that, I'd probably try and give them better magic resist. So like Spelliterax here for MR2. Because you've got a Death Star, basically. You've got a Death Star that's going to sit on a point and do its thing, and you don't want it to die, so let's go there. And also we should probably give it a standard. And given that it's in the second rank, Monster Hunter Tapestry is quite nice there as well. So this is just making your Temple Guard brick much more, or much less susceptible to getting goozled. Do we want anything else here? Honestly, again, because it is your Death Star, maybe just the -1 to be shot banner is quite nice. And maybe some extra models in there as well is not too bad. Skinks, 2 units of 14. I do like those, or 3 units of 14. We can give... Oh, you've given them Vanguard already? Alright, sweet. I don't know how I missed that. But those are good. Cold One Riders, Full Command, Totem of Wrath, Cav Spears. Probably want to give this magic resist. The Saurus Old Blood's pretty capped out in points, yeah. So, like, it's not magic resist 2, but we can give it MR1 or an Obsidian Lodestone. Because this is such a high-value unit, but it's so squishy comparatively to comparable units. Because you've only got a 3-up armor save here, but it's 350 points for 7 models. Which sucks, frankly. Sucks. But yeah, I think like this works fine, and let's just make this unit Temple Guard bigger. Like, I think that's where we want to be with it. You put a few extra models in there, you get a little bit tankier. You, like, this unit of Temple Guard is taking up 28 spots, so you'd go, what, like 6 by... How would you do it? 6 by 5 plus some spare? Yeah, it's not neat, but it's fine. It doesn't need to be neat. And then you've got the Old Blood with... Oh, you've paid for a shield and a charm shield. We can get rid of that. I don't think there's anything else we need to give that character there. We've got a banner here. We've got a banner here. I think we're basically there. We just give one... Like, we've got 5 points to spend. Is there anything that we can spend? Or 7 points on? I don't think there is. I really don't think there is. We could give a charm shield to this unit champion so it's less likely to fall over. But yeah, nice and easy. I actually think your list is pretty good in terms of, like, you've gone for the classic combo, the Slan plus Temple Guard. You've gone triple Skinks. You could have gone for a 4th unit. Honestly, maybe we put a 4th unit in instead of Bastiladon. But I think those extra Temple Guard are more valuable. I think I like that more. And then this unit, we want to be as defensive as possible, which is not very defensive. And then the Stegodon is providing a little bit of a beef, a little bit of a roadblock. Block. It's not unbreakable, but it is stubborn, so you can use it like a pseudo steam tank. Yeah. I think that works pretty darned well. Pretty darned well. I did promise that we would round out with a Wolves of the Sea list. This is Fingal's Wolves of the Sea. And there were no notes on this. This is just Wolves of the Sea with Friedel, or Friedel. Friedel the Chainmaker, in fact. So, is this a foot character? It's on a Manticore? Okay. But why? Why is it on a Manticore? Gets you around. Does get you around. So, just off rip, a dragon would be more effective, but I'm assuming you're aware of that, so I'm not gonna patronize you by telling you something you already know. I forget the rules that Friedel has, honestly. And you know what? I think it would be easiest just to open the PDF. I think that's the way that I'm going to be able to read, instead of just doing 37 things at once. Let's go to page 34. So, if we have a quick look here, stat-wise, Exalted Champion, which is pretty okay. It's not the end of the world. 235 points, which is, I guess, not too expensive. Strength 5, Toughness 4, Weapon Skill 6, 3 wounds, 4 attacks, Leadership 9. Cool. Their unit gains additional points for standards. Gives Marauders +1 leadership and range. A single unit of Marauders Horsemen can have ambush for free, and you get +1 and -1 as long as they're the general. Cool. Storm's Wrath is like a poor man's Ogre Blade. A really poor man's Ogre Blade. Ugh. Okay. But it's not only a unit you charge, because this specific things have not been touched by the FAQ. Maybe they have. Maybe they have. I can't remember. Yep, no, it has been touched. Damn! So that's just bad. Okay, it's fine. Thematic General. And then we've got a BSB with Swirling Wind and Light Armor, Shield, Chieftain's Blade, Strength 5, AP1. I don't love it. I don't love it, I will say. I feel like it might be a waste of points. Just Favor of the Gods. Oh, wait, hold on. Do you have ensorcelled weapons? Alright, there's no ensorcelled weapon here. Okay, I still don't like it, but it's more worthwhile to take, because you don't have the baseline magical attacks +1 AP, so we'll leave it on. The Chaos Lord build is wild, I think. It's an undivided Manticore with a Meteor Hammer, Favor of the Gods, Talisman of the Carrion Crow, and Demon Flesh. Like, it's kind of just looking at you like, I don't understand. Is the Meteor Hammer worth doing? Because you've got really good strength already. You've got strength 5. I feel like, honestly, just a great weapon is better. Because you're going to be wounding on 2s a lot of the time. I know you don't get to make the save in combat, but I know you're on a Manticore instead of a Chaos Dragon, but you're still pretty damn beefy. So I think it might just be better to not worry about that. Go for another Favor of the Gods. Talisman of the Carrion Crow, which the poison attacks wouldn't work with Meteor Hammer, just to be clear. For multiple reasons. Mainly that it's magical attacks, but also because you wound on a 3+ and you can't adjust that. I guess, like, I know this makes your save worse against small arms fire, but you got triple save. I feel like Meteoric Iron and not worrying about the shield is stronger than Meteor Hammer and worrying about the shield. Like, just always having a 5-up, 5-up, 5-up is a right pain in the backside to get through. And then we could also give them magic resist as well. That is tough. Brazen Collar. Yeah, see, that feels better to me. And then we've got the character that we didn't touch. This unit is Taskmaster's Scourge. I like Taskmaster's Scourge. I think it's good in terms of you can actually get to combat if you want to. Ambushes is, sure, a natural fortitude. Okay, cool. And then we've got Warhounds. You probably only want 5 of them here. Like, you don't, it's a throwaway unit. You don't want it to be worth more points. And then we've got Berserkers, and Marauder Horsemen. Yeah. I think Throwing Axes is good because you've got Ambush, right? And then we've got the Huskarls. The Huskarls definitely want magic resist. Brazen Collar here. Mark of Corn. I'm going to leave it on. You don't need Throwing Axes. Your Mark of Corn, you definitely don't need it on. And then we've got to just shave 1 point somewhere. I honestly think Mark of Corn is absolutely terrible on Huskarls. It's too easy to make your expensive punchy unit not do very much. But yeah, I think this is fine. Like, it's very clearly not trying to be the most tournament list that ever tournament listed. So I don't want to take out the soul of it, especially with no notes. But yeah, I think the obvious thing is the Manticore being a dragon would be better. This unit not being Mark of Corn would be better. A second giant spawn would be good. But I think in terms of like what you're going for, we've maximized it pretty well there. Boom. All right. And, Papa Nurgle got back to us about what was Papa Nurgle's list? Ah, yeah, the Wood Elves. So, they said, just play this versus Chaos, and the MVP was Orion. Interesting. He slaps a gigantic Chaos Spawn, then some Forsaken and Chosen Knights, only 2 wounds. Dragon was good, Wild Riders whiffed all attacks, always big Glade Rider unit. Died to magic missiles. 3 survived, and with the Furious Charge and Orion's Frenzy, they did nothing. Still won, though. Very nice. Oh, I'd forgotten that combo, because we took out Orion immediately, and he can make things frenzied. But that's pretty cool. All right, sweet. Well, it's been good. I think So in terms of content, I have a video that I want to put out tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to have time to get it finished recording and edited, because I've got a few coaching sessions, and then I've got a practice game as well. I'll probably put it out on Sunday, because I don't think I've got much scheduled in. I normally try not work Sundays, but on an FAQ week, I can do some work. So yeah, I should be putting ideally out something on Sunday, maybe something out on Monday. I'm not 100% sure, but then we're back to, we've got the podcast on Tuesday with the Saffron Slam games coming up. So need to do the live draw of that, as is tradition. And there'll be another video out on Thursday. And then I'll be streaming next weekend. So no Fix My List next week. But instead, as compensation, you will be receiving 5 streamed games of tournament play with me playing. So that should be fun. Thank you, Mark. As always, an absolute pleasure to be here on a Friday. Love to get to sit and chat to you all. And hope you all have a good weekend. Like I say, you'll see from me in the not too distant future. I'm going to go eat.